So guys, we built a really huge chicken house, 80 meters by 12 meters. That's really wide. And from you guys' comments, it looks like we used quite an amount of timber. I don't know if it's that much. Alright, now that I've taken a very clear look, honestly, we did use quite an amount of timber. But was that a very bad thing? Reading the comments, it sounds like we used a whole nation of a forest to build the chicken house. Is using timber in this case really a bad option? Is it such a terrible thing? Well, I have my thoughts and reservations about the matter because there's only a few types of material that can actually be used to accomplish such a huge structure. So I don't know if I should go on and rant about it or not. Anyway, there's quite a lot to show you guys around the structure that's going on, and I'll take you guys on a walk around while I think about ranting or not. From my previous video about the chicken structure, you guys saw that we were very close to moving inside. In fact, we had even already started preparing the chicken house and the barn, putting the feeders, the drinkers, and yeah guys, the interesting bit is that bit is already done, but we haven't yet moved in. You guys can see that everything in here has actually already been installed. We are clean and ready to go. The wood shavings were already sprayed, they have been disinfected. You can see that our feeding system has actually already been installed. You guys can see the feeder right here. So this is the pipe that's going to bring in the food all the way from up. It's coming from the top floor. Then the food will come down right in here and then it pours right in here. So we have this, I don't know what to call this, you know. It's like a cloth-like material to help dampen, decrease both the speed and the sound so that the chickens are not startled. So the feeders are set, and you can see that the drinkers are set too. Actually, the drinkers even already do have water. So we have water in here. We finished the plumbing. We finished everything in here. The feeders and the drinkers are already up to their proper height, and we're just waiting for the birds to come in. Then here, guys, you can see the laying boxes. They are not yet fitting completely, and that's partially the reason we are not yet here. Because work cannot continue when the birds are in here. The birds are going to get startled. It involves a lot of drilling, a lot of hammers, and a lot of noise. But you guys can see, you know, they are running along the entire length of the structure. Even this way, you know, running along the entire length of the structure. And they're going to be in two levels, one down and one up. So we're going to cut off this wire mesh that you guys are seeing right here after we've installed them. That way the birds can very easily access this area, and when they lay an egg, the egg will just roll out and then someone walking on the outside just picks the egg. What caused the delay with the laying boxes was actually the material of the plywood that was used in making the boxes before. If you guys do remember, in the previous video we had the more cream type of plywood. It wasn't rain or water resistant, so we had put it outside here and we thought we were good to go. Fortunately though, it did rain, and because of that the plywood got damp, and my god guys, the plywood just started splitting. Like you could just see it splitting at the very end, splitting and splitting, and we immediately knew this wouldn't last. It wouldn't even last, you know, having mist in the morning, any form of moisture. So we had to get them off and restart the work over again, and guys, it's quite an amount of work. Anyway, we've actually managed to finish making most of the boxes, and right now what's happening is that they are being installed. But while we are having the laying boxes installed, we decided to use that time to do everything else that could cause us to produce lots of noise. You guys know that when the birds get in, you don't want to have lots of noise, especially when the birds have started to lay. That's going to cause you lots of trouble because you'll have a decrease in laying and everything. So we decided to hit in all the nails at the roof. Oh my god guys, look at all that timber, all the way to the very end. Oh my god, it's actually a lot of timber. Anyway, we decided to hit in the nails at the top, all the nails that are going to be holding the feeders and the drinkers when the next batch of birds come in, because the next batch of birds is actually going to come in while these birds are in here, and we don't want to cause any distraction. And the other thing that we've decided to do is actually also drill the holes that are going to have the pipes go through, you know, the pipes that are going to bring the food down here, because that also causes quite some noise. So we've done that too. And over here guys, I'm walking on a stairway that, as you guessed, is made from timber. So it's moving all the way from down, and it's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 horizontal levels of the stairway, and that's because the stairway needs to be used as an alternative path in case the crane fails, because you guys do know that machines fail, yeah? So you guys can see that it's being built over here. It's moving all the way up, and all this is timber, guys. Just look here. All this is timber. Oh my God. And in here, we're on the top floor, as you guys can see. Lots of timber. Like when I look behind me, I can imagine how many trees of eucalyptus were actually used for this. Quite a lot. But right here, you can see exactly the kind of pipe that has been used to supply our feeding system. And you guys can see that it's running all the way back, you know. So it runs all the way, and even in this direction, it runs all the way back. So this pipe has a joint over here because we have a walkway right up there, and this is, you know, straight down, you know, perpendicular to the floor. And so we needed to make some form of bend or an angle. That way, the person who is right on the walkway can pour the feed in. And then we use this type of material. It's almost like cloth, the exact same that we used for the lower floor, to help us join the two pipes at this angle. So we still have the residue pipes, as you guys might see in here. And the place is actually still quite dirty. So what's happening today is that I've got someone, you guys might be able to see him in the background. He's helping me clean out the place, you know, getting out all the nails, getting out all the dirt. We're going to get all the pipes out, all the pieces of unused wood. You know, you can see quite a number in the background. We're going to get all of them out so that we have as little work as possible when the birds come in here. Like I've told you guys, we don't want any amount of noise in here. Right here, you can see the tank that we are using currently to supply the birds that are just below me. It's a 2,000-liter tank, and this is where the water is right now. It's where we shall be mixing our vitamins, any vaccine that needs to be given in here. No, actually we don't give any vaccines in this tank, but the vitamins, any medicines that could be needed to be given in here will be given in this tank right here. This is a temporary position for it, so soon it will be moved. And it will be moved to a place that we are building right outside here. And here, guys, we are building support where we're going to put 4 tanks of water. And these 4 tanks of water are what are going to supply this entire structure. So that's part of the other thing that's really delaying us, because again, this is not something that you can do once the birds have moved in. So guys, I won't act like I'm an angel. It is true, quite a number of trees have been utilized in building this structure. You can see the roof, you can see the floor, you know, it's wood running all the way to the other end. Same thing, because here I'm just halfway the building. But is it a really terrible thing that we're actually using this wood? It's actually not as bad. Let me explain to you guys. We all know that trees, when they are growing, absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So they are very good at capturing carbon, you know, from the atmosphere. All the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, all the gases that are released from factories, they are captured by these trees. But think about it. When these trees were cut down and utilized to build this structure, the only bad thing or disgrace that was done to the environment was actually cutting them down. In that the carbon dioxide that was being captured by these trees is no longer being captured. But you need to remember that lots and millions of trees are grown for the purpose of building every year. You know, hundreds and hundreds of square miles are planted every year for the purpose of this. So the idea is that while all these trees are actually growing up, a lot of them are being utilized to capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and that serves to protect the environment. A lot of the land that would actually have been cleared for probably, you know, agriculture, just growing maize or keeping animals like cattle, is being used to plant these trees, and that protects the environment more. So these are actually not natural forests that are being cleared. No, these are artificial forests that are planted every year for the purpose of this. Now, what you need to know is that while these trees are actually here, they haven't been burnt. So the biggest problem would be cutting down these trees and burning them, you know, using them for firewood. That's when you're releasing the carbon. But when you use them to build, no, the carbon is still being stored in here. So it's not being released into the atmosphere. Unlike using concrete and cement to build these structures. You see, if you're using concrete to build the structure, the main components of concrete are cement, sand, and aggregate, you know, the small stones. But how is cement made? cement is being made from factories, and these factories actually release a lot of these greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide. And so if you're talking about a purely more environmentally friendly way of building, it's better for you to build from wood than for you to build from concrete, because you can imagine the amount of cement that would have been utilized in order to build this place. Ridiculous. So I believe, guys, we are safe. The place or the places that were cleared by these trees that we used to build are actually going to be planted again to put more trees, and that is going to serve for the betterment of the environment and not really worsening the environment. It's not like we burnt down the trees, no, and we didn't use cement, which is made from a factory that's releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. I'm not saying that we should all go down cutting trees and using them to build, but honestly speaking, we do need to build, and when we build, I believe this is a safe way of building. If this is your very first time on the channel, I think you do really need to subscribe to the channel. So please hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, that way you never miss out on an upload. Lots of love, guys. Catch you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.